Ever wondered how one of the wildest, most successful parody franchises in history got started? Let's dive into the complete history of Scary Movie. Our story begins in the late 90s, when the slasher genre was experiencing a massive revival thanks to Wes Craven's Scream. Scream was a game-changer, a horror film that knew the rules of horror films. It was smart, scary, and a box office smash. And where there's a smash hit, a parody is sure to follow. Enter the Wayans brothers, Keenan, Marlon, and Sean. They were already comedy legends from their work on In Living Color. They saw the potential to satirize the newly popular teen slasher craze. Initially, their project was titled Last Summer I Screamed because Halloween fell on Friday the 13th. Yeah, a bit of a mouthful, right? But it perfectly captured the spirit of what they were aiming for, a hilarious send-up of every horror trope imaginable. The script was a wild blend of jokes, gags, and pop culture references targeting films like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. The project eventually landed at Dimension Films, run by the Weinstein brothers. They simplified the title to Scary Movie and paired the Wayans with a cast of up-and-coming talent like Anna Faris and Regina Hall. Anna Faris, in particular, was a revelation. Her portrayal of the endearingly clueless Cindy Campbell became the anchor of the series. Her comedic timing and willingness to go all in on the physical gags were just perfect. The film was made on a modest budget of around $19 million, but what it lacked in cash, it made up for in pure comedic energy. The Wayans family had a very specific, no-holds-barred comedic style. They weren't afraid to be crude, over the top, or completely absurd, and it worked. When Scary Movie hit theaters in July 2000, it was an absolute phenomenon. It exploded at the box office, grossing over $278 million worldwide. Critics were divided, with some calling it vulgar and juvenile, but audiences couldn't get enough. It was the highest-grossing R-rated film of the year, and proved that there was a massive appetite for this brand of parody. The film's success wasn't just about the jokes, it was about the timing. It perfectly captured the zeitgeist of the late 90s and early 2000s. With that kind of success, a sequel was inevitable. Scary Movie 2 came out just 1 year later, in 2001. The Wayans returned, this time shifting their focus from slasher films to supernatural horror, parodying classics like The Exorcist and The Haunting. The production was notoriously rushed to meet the summer release date, which some felt showed in the final product. While it was still a financial success, earning over $141 million, it didn't quite reach the dizzying heights of the first film. The critical reception was even harsher this time. After Scary Movie 2, the Wayans family stepped away from the franchise. This is where the series took a major turn. For Scary Movie 3, Dimension Films brought in a new creative team. They hired David Zucker, one of the masters of the parody genre, famous for co-directing Airplane and The Naked Gun. This was a huge deal. Zucker brought a different style of comedy to the franchise. It was less crude and more focused on rapid-fire sight gags and surreal, deadpan humor. He also shifted the focus of the parodies. Instead of just horror, Scary Movie 3 targeted big summer blockbusters like The Ring, Signs, 8 Mile, and The Matrix Reloaded. The cast changed too, with Charlie Sheen and Leslie Nielsen joining Anna Faris and Regina Hall. This new formula worked wonders. Scary Movie 3, released in 2003, was a huge commercial hit, earning over $220 million. Following the success of the third film, Zucker returned to direct Scary Movie 4 in 2006. The formula remained the same, parodying the biggest films of the time, including War of the Worlds, Saw, The Grudge, and The Village. Once again, it was a box office success, grossing over $178 million. The Zucker era had successfully revived the franchise, proving it could adapt and continue to draw crowds. His style of comedy, while different from the Wayans, had its own massive following. After a 7-year hiatus, the franchise returned one last time with Scary Movie 5 in 2013. This installment saw yet another creative shakeup. David Zucker was still involved as a writer and producer, but the director's chair was handed to Malcolm D. Lee. This film was a significant departure. For the first time, Anna Faris and Regina Hall did not return. Instead, the lead role went to Ashley Tisdale. The film mainly parodied Paranormal Activity and Mama, with appearances from celebrities like Snoop Dogg and Charlie Sheen in a meta opening. Unfortunately, Scary Movie 5 was met with overwhelmingly negative reviews and was the lowest-grossing film in the series, signaling that perhaps the audience's appetite for this style of parody had finally waned. And that's the history of the Scary Movie franchise. From the Wayans' edgy, R-rated origins to Zucker's PG-13 slapstick revival and its eventual fizzle. For over a decade, it was a pop culture juggernaut, a series that, for better or worse, defined a whole generation of parody films. It was often silly, sometimes brilliant, and always unforgettable. Thanks so much for watching. What's your favorite scary movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. See you next time.